Hi, Tricky here. I'm heading over to Asia in a couple of weeks. Living in Melbourne at the moment. It's Sunday the 9th of August 2015 and it's a very cold winter's day here in Melbourne. Temperature today is probably around about 13 and I'm really looking forward to heading over to Asia where it will be warm, possibly wet, but definitely warm. In preparation for my motorcycling trip, I'm looking at obviously what I can take, what I have, what I need to buy. I've got some older gear here, including an old Shoei road helmet that's been around, should be in a museum in fact. It's full of foam rot, so obviously it's certainly had its days and can't be considered, but a lot of memories in that helmet. My motocross helmet that's seen a lot of dust. It's an Yamaha M2R. It's not the lightest helmet around, but it's certainly a decent helmet. I used to have a WR450, which I've sold. I'm on a couple of road bikes these days, and I'm looking at either buying or renting a bike over in Asia. The next couple of weeks will really determine whether that's a road bike or a dirt bike. So I'm in two minds whether to go the motocross helmet or obviously a road helmet. Aldi Supermarket had a sale on this weekend. I picked this helmet up for $79. It's a Torque helmet. It's about the same weight as the M2R. It's not a bad helmet. It fits me reasonably well. It's a medium size. I've got a small head. And it's also got this inbuilt sun visor feature, which is a little bit different. I figured for $80, it's Australian standards approved. I figured for $80 I could go over to Asia with this thing and just disregard it, not bring it home. And yeah, the only thing I'm a little bit worried about is how hot the actual helmet will be. So while I was at Audi, I noticed these leather boots, riding boots. They're a short riding boot. They've got a concealed zip and they were $89. Pretty good value, I thought. Tried them on, liked them, fairly comfortable, and I looked at those as an alternative to my original plan, which was a pair of safety boots. I ride around in these on my road bike. They're reasonably comfortable. I'm not sure how waterproof they are. They're steel cap. So I figured that riding boots would be a better option rather than actual safety boots. The other consideration was a motocross boot. These are my old boots, the old Foxes, done a bit of work. I'm very concerned that these will be just too hot. Very waterproof, but just far too warm. Given that I will encounter some rain in Thailand, it's the wet season over there, about 32 to 34 degrees every day, but I figured I'd just get this waterproof jacket just as a throw on to keep me high and dry. $30, Audi. Other gear, I purchased this jacket a couple of weeks ago. It's a Cortex jacket. I paid $70 for it. The thing I liked about it, it's a mesh jacket. Again, not a big outlay. Can afford to piff it, leave it over there. $70, I'm not concerned. It does have very good protection built into the shoulder and also the arms. And being a mesh jacket, I should get fairly good flow through. Inside this jacket at the moment, two removable liners. One's a waterproof liner and the other one's obviously a warmth layer. They'll be essentially zipped out and I'm hoping that I'm going to get some good airflow through this jacket. $70. It's also got a little bit of back bracing built in. I just figured it can't go wrong. from a glove perspective, got a couple of pairs of motocross gloves. Again, some level of protection without being too hot. So that's pretty well my outfit at the moment. So depending on whether I get a dirt bike or a road bike will ultimately determine exactly what I finalise on. I'm back home from my trip. Sunny Melbourne, the birds are singing, the sun's shining. What a fabulous journey. If you're thinking about doing a motorcycle journey to northern Thailand or Asia, I would highly recommend it. The people are beautiful, the food was fabulous, the weather was great. A little bit of rain, but that's all part of the journey. So if you're thinking about doing it, just do it. Fabulous time. Off the back of my previous video, I just thought it'd be worth covering what I ended up taking with me, what was useful, what was not useful. Beginning with my bag. This is the actual bag I took away with me on the precedence that it folded up, it was expandable, it could go on the bike, be tied on. This was a mistake. A mistake in that I shouldered this bag around Asia, and I've actually come back and had a hernia operation. So I'd recommend that if you're doing a lot of overland travel, motorcycle or otherwise, that you get some sort of bag that you can drag behind you on wheels, something a little bit more mobile, as opposed to shouldering something like this. So hindsight's a wonderful thing. The other bag that I ended up taking was this carry-on backpack. I house most of my camera gear in this bag. I could also use this as a day pack if I was trekking and so forth. So I'd highly recommend a carry-on size backpack. You'll recall before I left, I actually went to Audi supermarket. They had a sale on motorcycle gear. I purchased this rain jacket. Upon packing my bag, I realised that I just had far too much bulk. This jacket is not the smallest jacket, so I've got my no-go bin over here. This jacket didn't come with me in the no-go bin. The boots that I also purchased from Audi, I lugged these around Asia. I've been wearing them since I come back. They're good boots, they're great boots, but far too warm for Asia. I wore them for 3/4 of a day and basically in the no-go bin. The shoes I ended up wearing is the shoes I have on now. They've got an upper leather sole, upper leather top, good sole, great for trekking, comfortable, no ankle protection, that's the downside, but when you're travelling and it's hot, comfort's really important. These serve me well, in conjunction with a good pair of flip-flop thongs. Just heading over to talk about my mainstay jacket. This is the zip-in liner for it, good for medium to low density rain. I also purchased a $2 throwover that just went over everything, and that was very good for heavy rain. This jacket, you'll recall I purchased this jacket second hand for $70 before I left. It's got back protection, shoulder protection and elbow protection. This is a mesh style jacket, and I've got to say this is the best purchase that I made for Asia. Essentially, if you're moving, the wind will flow through this jacket, and if you're travelling to a hot environment on a motorbike like Asia, a mesh jacket is a really good asset. So best thing I actually took. Good pair of gloves. My motocross gloves came in handy. My hands got sunburned. One of my hands started to blister. That's predominantly the only time I wore these, but they did come in handy, and I'd recommend that a good pair of gloves is important. Other bags that I ended up taking, toilet bag, they're good for accommodating various bits and pieces. A man bag, a throwover. I could get my camcorder and my still camera in this, and obviously documentation and so forth if I was going out for the evening. That was very handy. Helmet wise, you'll recall that I was toying with what helmet to take. I predominantly decided to take this M2R helmet, which is my motocross helmet, right up to the point where I was packing up and just simply couldn't accommodate it. It's quite a bulky helmet. and it ended up in the no-go bin. The helmet that I did end up taking is this Bell open face helmet. It's a good quality helmet. It's Australian standards approved. It's a solid helmet. It's got the GoPro attachment on top. This served me well, coupled with a good cool pair of sunnies. That was perfect for Asia. So I wouldn't recommend using the lids over there. They're not the safest in the world. Good quality helmets are important. First aid kit. This is the first aid kit that I actually took with me. It's got the usual bandages and band-aids and paracetamol. One thing that you need to include is a good antifungal cream or powder. I got a toe infection over there, and I thought my toe was going to fall off. So off to the chemist, and good quality powder and cream, and a week later it was well under control. So first aid kit, really important. I also stored some of my money in this, broke my money up, so it was very handy. Octopus elastic type straps, very handy on a motorbike. A couple of really good quality padlocks, important. I locked these onto the frame of the bike. I could readily lock my helmet and my jacket on the motorcycle and not have to worry about whether they're going to be there when I got out from wherever I was trekking or otherwise. A lot of the rooms in Laos have facilities for padlocks, so having your own padlock does provide a very good level of security. My iPhone, obviously Wi-Fi, very handy. This monopod I used a couple of times. In hindsight, I wouldn't take it again. More important when you're travelling alone is a good quality tripod. This tripod is not the tripod I actually took. I'm actually filming with the tripod that came along with me, but a good quality tripod is important, particularly when you're on your own. The monopod I wouldn't take again. Earplugs. I was on two boats over 2 days, coming down through central Laos, and the second day I was at the back of the boat towards the engine room, and it was quite noisy. So the earplugs come in very handy. Not big to carry, but very handy. Also for wind noise if you're doing a lot of riding. Hero 3. All the associated brackets for the Hero 3, including batteries and so forth. I'll make mention of this little white duva that comes with the GoPro. It was pretty apparent when I mounted the GoPro on the motorcycle handlebar and also onto my helmet that I was getting a lot of sound chatter. It's a common occurrence with a GoPro. This little white tabby thing fits into the bracket and stops the chatter. So that's a pretty important thing to carry if you want reasonably good audio on your recordings. So don't forget your little white maneuver. Lumix 14 megapixel still camera. Again, size is important. 14 megapixel. That was a good item to have. As well as my tablet. This is not a big device, but needed somewhere to download my video and store my video. This went in my day pack, my backpack, and it's not too heavy, quite light. Obviously got internet access and Wi-Fi capabilities, so that was also very good. So look, that's probably a bit of an overview as to some of the mistakes and so forth that I made, what was good, what was not good. If you're going to Asia, just really have a good hard think about what to take. Don't lug stuff around if you can avoid it. You'll do yourself an injury. And have a fabulous trip. It's a great experience, and if you're thinking about it, just do it. And yeah, have fun.